Hello, I'm Michael Rashad, and welcome to The World According to Me. COVID-19 has put the world on the edge of a precipice. It has cost millions of people their lives, millions more their jobs, and has destroyed the world's economy. And yet there are things that we should be thankful for. First and foremost, we can absolutely be grateful that it cost Donald Trump the election and saved the world from another 4 years of a would-be dictator. If he hadn't made a complete hash of handling it, he would have been an absolute shoo-in for re-election. His presidency was like watching a train wreck happening in slow motion. You couldn't tear your eyes away. For this alone, I think COVID-19 should be the Nobel Peace Prize winner for 2021. I do realize there would be some irony in awarding it to a virus that has killed millions of people. But 4 more years of Trump would have been worse. And he's thinking of running again in 2024. I'd say God help us all, but if there was a God, COVID would have taken the Donald and a few other deserving people.
George W. Bush is also very grateful as he is no longer the worst president of all time, not even close. In fact, quite a few people would like him back. Yes, he's an idiot, but he's a likable one. COVID-19 has made it very easy to avoid the relatives we hate. Now when it comes to family get-togethers, we can ask who's coming and then decline the invitation with COVID as the excuse. COVID-19 has made it acceptable and even encouraged people to work from home. Meetings now take place on Zoom. I wish I owned that company. A lot of business travel, never fun and always exhausting, is now completely unnecessary, saving corporations enormous amounts of money. Airlines are not happy at all, but since they treat passengers like cattle for years, they don't deserve or get much sympathy. Face-to-face meetings are now avoided as it is much safer to video chat. Checking that you've got a shirt on is quite a good idea though. COVID-19 has given us the time to focus on our families, since so many of us have been in lockdown with them. It is also true that this has caused and is causing thousands of unhappy marriages to implode, since couples have realized they can't actually stand each other. In the long run, won't all those people be happier not being stuck in those bad relationships? Divorce lawyers are rubbing their hands in glee. COVID-19 has made many people learn how to cook. Unfortunately, this is going to hurt the restaurant industry more than COVID-19 already has, because now that we know how to cook, we just might do more of that in the future, instead of going out and paying lots of money for something that we can cook better ourselves. COVID-19 has taught many of us how to withstand boredom by getting us to do things we wouldn't normally do. It has given us the time and impetus to learn other skills, to study things that have interested us, but which we've never had the time to pursue before. The online sites that teach these skills must be immensely grateful to COVID-19. I do wonder how many of them are actually Chinese-owned. Many wives are immensely grateful to COVID-19 as it has enabled their honey-do list to get done, as there are less valid excuses coming from their husbands. Plus, a lot of those are still working from home. Telling your partner that you're working is not acceptable, so when you are asked to take the trash out, take the trash out. It will be much easier in the long run. COVID-19 has made many parents realize how badly behaved their children are, and has caused more parental discipline, which is a really good thing. For those parents who still believe in letting their children run wild, karma is having a field day, and they deserve it. Another really good thing. Jeff Bezos is enormously grateful to COVID-19. His net worth has gone up by $50 billion at least. All the streaming services have gone up in value with many more subscribers. That doesn't mean the quality of entertainment has improved. It just means there's more garbage to sit through. But at least you can change the channel. Personally, I've found myself watching many more documentaries, and am learning new things all the time. COVID-19 and Donald Trump have shown up the Republican Party leadership for what it has always been, a bunch of mean-spirited, racist, nasty ignoramuses who don't care about anybody other than themselves. Democratic leadership should be grateful. They would be if they weren't spineless cowards who are always being bullied by their Republican counterparts. Gun companies are grateful because they are selling more guns than ever before. Unfortunately, when you add this factor to the number of people who have literally lost their minds, mass shootings are now a daily occurrence and we're back to the Wild West. The NRA still doesn't care, but they're in a profit-sharing deal with the gun companies, so why would they? Death is a profit center for the NRA. The crazy train is full to capacity due to COVID-19. In fact, there are so many people wanting to get on it that they are shooting one another on a daily basis just to get a seat. Previously rational people have completely lost their minds, and it doesn't seem they're ever going to get them back. A surprisingly large number of them are convinced that the last election was stolen, despite all evidence to the contrary. If it was true, though, then surely Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, and Ted Cruz, three of the most profoundly despised and despicable Republican members of Congress, would have lost their seats, and yet they are still there, obstructing progress wherever they can. Millions more of them are convinced that the vaccine is a mind control plot to enslave them. That might be concerning if they had a mind worth controlling, but it's more like a game of spot the brain cell. Donald Trump should also be grateful to COVID-19. Yes, it cost him the presidency, but he's gained a lot of unstable sycophants. Admittedly, he's under investigations, many of them, for criminal activities, which should come as no surprise to any rational human being. So there are a lot of things we should be grateful to COVID-19 for, and there are a lot of very happy people who've made an awful lot of money from the crisis. Governments have been able, for the most part, to get people to follow orders. They love that control and are going to hold on to it for as long as they can. I suspect that vaccines and all the tests that are now required to go anywhere have become a highly profitable profit center for those administering and running them. My brother and his wife just returned to the UK after 10 days in Spain. They both have had COVID-19, are fully vaccinated, and yet they were required to take and pay for COVID tests on the 2nd, 5th, and 8th day after returning, as well as self-isolating for 5 days. Where is the common sense in this? Answer: nowhere. As usual, the government answer to any crisis is to run around like a chicken with its head cut off and take the scattergun approach to solving it, rather than actually coming up with a plan and sticking to it. Well, that's about all I have to say on the subject. It's been a very difficult time for most of the world. We're not out of the woods yet, and we may never be free of this virus. You would think that politicians and government would get their act together and stop all of this partisanship crap, but it's beyond them. They're only concerned about sticking it to the other guy, not to mention getting rich in the process. The good of the country, or well-being of the people they were elected to serve, isn't even a consideration. Imagine how useless they would be if we ever get invaded by aliens. Well, I doubt it would make a difference. They couldn't be any more useless than they already are. Shakespeare got it almost right when he wrote in Henry VI, "The first thing we do, let's kill all the lawyers." He should have added politicians to the sentence. You know the difference between a politician and a catfish? One is a scum-sucking bottom feeder and the other is a fish. I'm Michael Richard. Thanks for listening to The World According to Me. Bye-bye.